The SOC is where pressure is real and impact matters. Join the Anti-Siphon Training SOC Summit, free, live-streamed March 25th. Then go deeper with hands-on training March 26th through April 10th. Learn more at antisiphonttraining.com/event/SOC-summit.
Okay, so we were talking about medical before we went live. Do either of you? I am currently on downtime where I sit at a couch holding a baby all day. So I'm binge watching shows, and I've caught up on I started watching The Pit, and then caught all the way up. Right. And so if you haven't watched The Pit, huge spoilers. Tune off now. Go a little bit ahead. Go a little bit ahead for season 2. Are you not caught up on season 2?
Oh, I'm caught up. No, I'm caught up.
Okay.
Baby dingo.
So in the most recent season, The Pit, their computer systems shut down.
Oh my God.
Not because of ransomware,
right,
but because of 2 other hospitals got ransomware.
Right.
A preemptive shutdown.
Shutdown, yeah.
I was very upset that they spent all this money on medical experts and none on cyber.
Yeah.
Like,
because when it was happening, you were grimacing probably as bad as I was, because I'm looking at my wife going, "That's not how it works. That's not how it works."
Right? I immediately texted my buddy, who is the security operations manager at a local hospital, and I'm like, "Bro, every hospital in San Diego is hit with ransomware. Do you shut down?" It's like, shut down now. I was just so surprised, but it honestly makes for good drama and a reason why. I think they should have just gave them ransomware. Honestly, that would have been.
I agree. It should have been better. Yeah, that would have been better, because it's only the day. I mean, well, I think this way they can now say, 4 hours later, okay, we're all good. We're secured. We're protected. And then have someone click on an email. That'd be hysterical.
Something like that, or have some kid like you see walking in and plugging in a Raspberry Pi into a terminal, some random Ethernet port. That would have been perfect. It would have been perfect.
All right, just hacks the Wi-Fi. Come on.
Yeah, Corey, you haven't watched The Pit?
I haven't. The only thing I've heard about it is that my friends were making fun of it last night for really struggling to implement every current event into the show's plot lines. Very much so. Yeah, they definitely do. Ah, crap! How do we work in Iran into this? I don't know. I get it. But I'm also come on, how far backwards are you going to bend to make the current events work into the show? I don't know. It's I don't know. I haven't watched it myself. I have a couple friends who are in the medical field, and they're fans of it. But yeah.
I mean, I'm from the days of watching ER and watching little John Carter grow up. So and I watched him in The Librarian, Noah Wiley in The Librarians and Leverage, and loved him in that. So I'm kind of pot committed to watching the show. But when they did,
I watched him in Fallen Skies. If you've never watched that,
I remember that. Yeah, I never got into it, but I remember that. Yeah.
It was a little hard, but it was an actual sci-fi show that has a clear ending, which is unbelievable nowadays.
Which is surprising. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
right. We had a really good discussion before the show. It was great. But I actually didn't really get any time to read any of the articles. So it'll be a fun week. It'll be a week full of hot potatoes. Wade, you ready to
I read a couple. I read the first 4 of spicy hot topics.
It's all good.
Let's go to we could spin up and we'll go to the first one and I'll talk about it. I can do it.
I was going to say, so this is just going to be like being on Jerry's show. It's like we don't prep the stories. We just go right on in.
That's exactly what it is, but just more fun.
Exactly what it is. Yeah. Ryan, let's go. Hello and welcome to Black Hills Information Security's Talking About News. It's March 9th, 2026. We're here with Wade. It's a skeleton crew today. No John. We're here with Wade, and we got James here. We're just going to hang out, talk about news. Oh, and Troy. A late entry. Still working on his webcam. But let's get into it. We got articles about APT 36. We've got Oracle layoffs. We've got 6G. Ooh, a new kind of a new kind of virus for my brain. Thank God. Let's see what else. official news that Graphene and Motorola are combining efforts. That's exciting. We kind of leaked that last week. Firefox has an AI kill switch. We've got new Microsoft licensing. Apparently they've upgraded. Now there's something called an E7. Who knows what that is, but we're going to talk about that. And yeah, I mean, let's get into it, I guess. What's this APT 36? Also, how are we only at 36? I feel like we're going down.
Right. Who is it? Who gives it APT the numbers? I believe it's Mandy. That's a Mandy name. Yeah. It's not a cool storm and a color, so it's not Microsoft. Right. So pretty much this is going off like current trends, right? And introduces the real term of Vibeware, which is a new type of AI created malware.
Vibeware equals AI created malware. I'll allow it.
Right. I like it. It's not too cringy. It's worth it. I could easily see that in a signature somewhere. So I'm going for it. I applaud the naming. So pretty much this Vibeware from a Pakistani threat actor group called, they're also known as Transparent Tribe, which I thought was much better than APT 36. If you ask me.
Are they that transparent? Apparently, based on this blog, they are transparent now.
But they're Vibewaring some malware in super niche languages. Ones I have never heard of, to tell you the truth.
I've heard of NIM because of Charles. Yeah. Wow, yip, but I've never heard of Crystal or Zig.
And then I always love to see some unconventional C2. So they're using Slack, Discord, Supabase. I've never heard of that, in Google Sheets.
Is Supabase? It says Firebase too, which I'm assuming Supabase is like an open source version of Firebase. Maybe.
What's Firebase? I don't know what that is either.
Firebase is like a Google as a service application.
Okay. I love seeing the unconventional
database
stuff
as a service, I guess I would call it.
Yeah. So pretty much they're just vibe coding these new malwares, throwing them out quickly, and just trying to bypass detections and get out there. The one thing is, like, us as US based individuals aren't going to see this because they're Pakistani, so they're targeting a little bit more of the Indian government, or Indian, right, rather than the US. But still interesting stuff. Has anyone tried? I haven't tried to actually do anything malicious with an AI, like at least create malware or C2 or anything like that. Yeah.
I mean, that's my whole job, man. Yeah. Well, I will say, okay, so basically, like, high level here, there's two themes I want to get into, and I want to like say them out loud so I remember them. Number one is like, this is kind of a kinetic to, like, we're going to talk about kinetic versus cyber attack, right? But this is kind of like interesting that in this current geopolitical state that they're attacking India. Like, that's an old battle, right? Or like an old thing where they're not really friends and they don't get along. It's an interesting thing to throw onto the geopolitical, it's like, oh, World War III plus, I guess. But the other thing I want to talk about, is using AI illegally or, maliciously. You can get really far with just kind of not even jailbreaking, but just saying either you're authorized to do this or just kind of beating around the bush. Like, you're not gathering targets you're not using targets for phishing. You're using targets for sales or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, the AI can be tricked pretty easily. Also, last week, I was having it draft up. I was having it help me with some campaigns for a red team client. And I was like, help me make a red team campaign, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and by the way, I want you to do the recon and, pick up assets they have and like, basically do external pen testy stuff. And it was like, absolutely not. You are not authorized. And then I actually screenshotted the real SOW, but it was just an image that was like, PHIS is allowed to test insert company here. And it was like, all right, you're fine. Like, you have a letter of authorization. So like, if you could just put an image that you generate of like, here's an authorized pen test or whatever. I'll try it later. All that being said, I'm sure this is setting off red flags. Like, we have a corporate Anthropic subscription. They know it's Black Hills Information Security. I would imagine if I was just on a Gmail or whatever, that they would be like, no, right? Like,
for the corporate subscriptions, do they take down some of the walls around malicious use? Like, I
don't think so. No, not to my knowledge. I mean, maybe for the U.S. government, if you want to make a kill bot.
Yeah.
Not too soon.
Not Anthropic, but OpenAI for sure.
Yeah. I guess that article isn't in the list. We should go find that, or kind of in the list.
One other term in here that I wanted to use that I haven't seen a lot that's in this is living off of trusted services. So LOTS, right? which is, if you go back to other LOL-based stuff, so living off binaries, living off like local scripts and stuff like that, which is looking for trusted services that a particular company is going to be using and then trying to create malware custom for those so you blend in. Hence, if the company's using Slack, right, I'm not going to be able to really look for something that's creating outbound Slack collections because I'm going to be expecting it. Same with Google Sheets and that type of stuff in order to blend into the service a little bit more. Which I haven't deep dive researched that, which is something I want to now. Maybe that's my next AI project. So
yeah, this is the world we live in. I will say, like, I don't think they share in the blog how they're developing these. Like, it doesn't say that they're using Anthropic or they're using OpenAI. I'm guessing they're using a combo of frontier models, and then also there's, open source, open parameter models like DeepSeek and Qwen that we have had to use those in certain cases here. Like, one customer asked me for prompt injection. Like, they asked me for a spreadsheet with prompt injection things in it that they were going to throw into their desktop and see if it worked. And Anthropic was not a fan of making prompt injection payloads. But DeepSeek and Qwen were a huge fan of it. So, basically for some things you do have to use open parameter unlocked or obliterated models or whatever. But for the most part, I would guess this is probably, if you think about the queries you could use to make something like this, it's like, oh, I need to have remote control over my computer and I want to make something written in Crystal to do this. AI is going to be like, okay, yeah, totally get what you're doing.
Yeah, one thing that comes to mind about the living off the whatever network services,
living off the trusted services,
which is basically like all web, like fill in the blank, right? Nothing really
SaaS,
new.
I would believe,
from the fact
that
arguably
CloudFront
using like TechNet forums and all that other kind of things since since they can, right? I would say from a detection perspective, if like people are curious about that, what does that look like? It's kind of goes to like that whole like, well, if a user's using PowerShell or they're an IT employee using PowerShell, it doesn't look as suspicious as if like a welder or somebody that's like in manufacturing is using some kind of technology. So, it's one of the things that's probably people should be looking for, or people that are threat hunting or trying to like wrap their heads around detections is like, why would this like user be using Slack? And they're not using the Slack desktop app. They're using like a web API, right? They're trying to find, anomalies in that service. I don't think there's anything in this article that, or any of that news that suggests that they were using any kind of like MCP connectors to Slack or anything like that, right? It would just be like kind of codified to go do the thing, that kind of thing. So anyways, that was just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting how it might, we're talking about all these new signatures samples that are coming in. Bitdefender had the nice little graph there, 1,000% increase over 6 months. It's like, okay, so virus total or the next virus total that's going to start tracking all these Vibewares. It will certainly be interesting to see what crops up. But I certainly expect if we've already been getting this many already, it's going to double and triple over the next few years. And if it won't be India targeted, it'll be the rest of Europe, and then I have no doubt it'll be here in the US.
Yes,
that's a good feature request for virus total. Like, just have a flag like, "Hey, this code was vibe coded," or the confidence level of this code is basically like 98% or 97% vibe coded versus like a
vibe coded. Yeah. Because it's going to be the one that's got all the right comments in all the right places, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Documented, like commented.
If it has documentation, it was vibe coded.
It was vibe coded.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is one to just look out for. We all know these kinds of threats are on the rise, but it is cool that they coined 2 new terms in one blog post. I think that's a little achievement for them. Bitdefender coming in hot. So I guess we can talk about layoffs. Oracle apparently is slashing 30,000 jobs, which I don't know what percentage of their workforce that is. Layoffs.fyi probably could tell me. Let me go look. Actually, it's not listed on Layoffs.
Good thing John showed up late. We would have been talking forever about
John,
Vibeware
you've been laid off from
here.
your job at Oracle. Sorry.
Yay! About time.
The article says it's because banks are pulling out of financing data centers. Like, is the bubble popping? Is that what this is? Is this like
they're pulling out of financing data centers specifically for AI? Is what I read on that article.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild. I mean, if you have an entire financial sector is like, oh, this is a bad bet, right? And then that's going down to the point where they're not going to finance Oracle because they think it's a bad bet. That's a lot of bad things in a row.
I can't believe they even have 30,000 employees to lay off at this point, but I guess they do.
I thought they had like 80,000. Let me check real quick.
That's so many people. I guess they have Oracle e-business. Like I'm like thinking of what products they're even. I guess they probably are in a lot of like cloud and SaaS stuff that we don't know about or that we don't see as commonly.
162,000 people globally. And there is a lot of task force, and they do a lot of consulting too. So when I was working at DoD, we saw them all the time doing like build outs of network operation centers and all kinds of crazy things. And yeah, you know, the whole thing that no one got fired for hiring IBM. Well, that's kind of true for Oracle as well. So it's just kind of crazy. So
somehow we lost James. Hopefully he comes back.
I'm the James replacement. I finally got my internet working in this.
You can't replace him. You're not even trying. He had a whole background. He had a Rekka hat. Where's your Rekka hat?
I don't have a Rekka hat right now. You're right. I'm a pale imitation of James.
All right. What else we got? I mean, I think since John's here, we might as well talk about the whole. Oh, hey James, welcome back.
Thanks, James.
Since John's here, we might as well get some hot John takes on the whole geopolitical situation that's happening. The classic story of what is kinetic, what is not kinetic. I have some. I'll just say I don't have an article to back it up, but I did get a couple of tips from a couple of sources I have that said that we're seeing hugely increased cyber attacks coming out of Iran against U.S. targets. I mean, maybe there's a specific news article we can find about that, but, you know, I guess it's an interesting thing to talk about is like, what is, you know, of course there's going to be retribution for all the missile strikes and things. Having some cyber targets, like, I guess, John, what's your take on this? Is this going to increase? Is this a thing?
Okay, so there's a couple of things, right? I mean, if you're looking at two distinct types of attacks, right? One is a nation state level attack, and we're definitely seeing an increase in cyber attacks for Iran. Now, I've read I've heard rumors that some of the strikes of what we've been doing have been specifically targeting some of the people that are in charge of the cyber aspects of Iran, which wouldn't surprise me looking at the amount of ordnance that's been dropped on them over the past week or so. So that's interesting in and of itself. But whether or not that contributes to what is exactly going on as far as the cyber attack is a little bit difficult to ascertain at this particular point. And the reason for that is it isn't just Iran, right? So there's a whole bunch of other groups around the world that are really unhappy with what Israel is doing. And look at this as a continuation of what's been happening in Gaza. And there's a political hacktivist element of this as well. So anytime you're doing any cyber operations, one of the best things that you can do is you can do your cyber operations either utilizing the kind of, you know, the hacktivism movement, utilizing it directly, which I'm going to come to here in a second, or trying to cloak yourself in the hacktivist movements as well. So that way, whenever you're looking at defenders, they won't be able to tell the difference between what's a nation state and what is hacktivist. So giving you an example of how this was, I was working with a bank a number of years ago in Germany. And what was going on in that particular bank at that time was very interesting because they saw a concerted movement as a hacktivist attack, DDoS, against the infrastructure, the web infrastructure of the bank at that time. Now, if you remember, what was it? Low orbit ion cannon, high orbit ion cannon. These really crappy tools were really prevalent whenever hacktivists were trying to bring down different sites. Now, what was actually going on is a nation state level player was actively riling up the hacktivist movement, getting a whole bunch of people to do that level of DDoS attack against legitimate websites that were ran by that particular bank. While that was happening, the actual elite group was running phishing campaigns against their customers. So what they were doing is they were saying, hey, your password's going to be expired. You need to log in here immediately. You need to do all of these different things. and you must click this link to get there, which worked because the main website was down. So the customers were not able to get to the main website. And they felt the only way that they could change their passwords or set up their passwords to not expire was to click the link. But that entire operation was completely orchestrated by a nation state level adversary. So when you're looking at these different things, it's very, very difficult to tell the difference between what is true nation state attack, what is groups acting on behalf of nation states, and what is a mix of the two. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward. But if we want to boil it down to one simple thing, hold on to your butts. It's about to get real interesting. James, and I'd love to get your take on this as well.
Yeah, of course, when it's always coming down to the human and targeting them to click on a link or open an attachment when you've got something this serious, when it's imposing on livelihood, their lives, and everything else. People aren't rushing to verify or trust it. It's like, oh my gosh, this is information we need. And that we've been seeing it on, both sides, whether for missile strikes or for prayer groups or whatever the function that they're trying to utilize is. So social engineering is going to play a major part in all of this, going after the human, relying on the fear, relying on the urgency to get them to click those links, to take action, gain access to devices and everything else. And as you said, John, this is, hold on to your butts. This is just the beginning. I have a feeling it's going to get worse. What I'm curious to see will be the outcome of, with regards to how nation states might be inside other nations infrastructures, and whether they launch any type of attacks related to this potential or current cyber war, not only physically but also electronically as well. So it'll be interesting to see what further stories come out of this, what things we continue to learn about it. It's fastly moving.
And what you're talking about, I think, makes a lot of sense. And, you kind of reminded me of a quote, the whole quote of what is the best time to plant a tree, right? The best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, second best time today. And when we're looking at preparation for nation state adversaries, a lot of organizations are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? The really good organizations have been thinking and planning about this for 10 years, right? You've got to have nation state level adversaries in your threat profile. If you're trying to defend your network appropriately. And if you're just now saying, oh my God, what about Iran? Rest assured, it's probably going to be painful if you get hit.
Yeah. I was chatting with an organization a couple of weeks ago regarding their incident response, their tabletop exercises and how they did things. And we were brainstorming on different topics, and they were already on the ones with regards to Iran, the war, different wars happening all around the world, the impact could be on them. And so, they're already planning and they've already been exercising. So it was good to see that there are organizations out there that are doing it, to your point. So
I'd like to get your take on this too, since you're definitely on the defender side.
Yeah. So I posted a thing about how Anonymous came out and made a statement for the first time in a while, but it was more about the Epstein files, right? Which is a little bit of a squirrel tactic on what was going on. But with that, I kind of counterpoint, like, when was the last big hacktivist group that we saw? Like, there's a couple things with like the furry hunters that we saw, or the furries that hacked someone. There's not as much out.
You're talking about Siege Sec?
Yeah, who were great.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones, but it's kind of interesting that it's not even there anymore as much as it was. I guess it's not even as a Wild West type of thing. But to come at from Iran hacking you though. My key take, like, Iran is a big player. We know that. They don't seem as technically savvy, at least in my TTPs that I've done. Like, they're not out there creating like crazy new 0 days to drop on you and to get in. They're looking for low-hanging fruit to come in, break stuff, and back out, most likely. Mm-hmm. So make sure everything's patched. I would be the first thing I would say.
Well, so what you're saying, basically, is that all the hackers out there sold out and went corporate and became financially
right?
They became financially motivated threat actors.
I don't think that that's necessarily it, Corey. I think that a lot of the hacktivists gave up, just decided to shit post on Reddit instead. That way you can get that exact same type of feeling with lower risk and more of an immediate dopamine hit.
John, is that why you did an AMA recently?
Yes, that is live.
Oh, John's like, I need to do some threat intel research. Let me do an AMA.
Yeah.
So John, are you saying live here on the news that buying the new Microsoft E7 license will not protect me from nation state threats?
No, but they're soon to be released E8 and E9.
Okay. I was worried there for a second because I guess we should talk about it. It is an article. I'm sure it's on people's minds. It'll be quick. Today, Microsoft announced E9, or sorry, what number are we on? E7 licenses, which I guess is just slapping more AI on more things. That's my understanding of it, basically. Am I wrong? I don't know.
That's all I read into it. It looked like a lot. Like Microsoft is trying so hard to try to get AI to work for them. It's just, everything, this is my personal gripe. They keep moving the Copilot button on my phone and on my browser to try to put it in the most conspicuous place that my mouse is going to go to try to trick me into doing that. They just want to be known as like an AI leader with this stuff. And it's just like, oh my God, it's too much at this point. So what is
they're trying to? The Microsoft is calling you right now, John. You should probably
they are right. So, but yeah, what are they're selling this with like Frontier models or something like that?
Frontier Suite is what they're calling it. I don't really know what that means. Does that mean we get to just take other people's AI away from them and claim that it's ours? Is that how that works?
But what is it? Their pricing is kind of interesting. They say general availability for Agent 365 is $15 per user. And then it says the new 365 E7 is $99 per user. I don't know quite.
They're like, listen, we're not a supply chain risk. We swear. Just give us buttons to put in all your programs, including, Word and Excel and Notepad. Everything has to have AI. I mean, I don't know. I will say people are going to buy it. I'm honestly curious from my perspective. Can it just send my emails for me automatically? What could go wrong?
That would be nice. That would be great.
It can if you have Claude Code scheduled tasks turned on.
So, okay.
You got to get Claude Code scheduled tasks set up.
So arguably that's what they're trying to go after, right? That exact workflow is what they're trying to target, I think.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to go after.
From a security perspective, I very much, as a hacker, very much hope that this somehow becomes the default, that my customers are automatically having AIs reading all the stuff that we send them. Because for phishing, the prompt injection harvesting is going to be really good. So I don't know. Who knows how it's going to roll out?
One comments that we're getting are like, wait, this is real? I thought this was a joke. Like the whole conversation is like, wait, no, this isn't a joke. No, this is a thing. Yeah, it's we're just going to keep
it. Really is a thing. Yeah.
I can't wait for Microsoft to come out with a marketing campaign. It's like, this company got hacked and they were using Office 365, but they deserved to get hacked because they were only using E5.
They didn't have enough E's.
They didn't have
licensing,
and they got what they paid for, boys and girls. So.
Well, it wasn't too long ago before what is it? If you only had an E5 license, remember when China basically got into potentially anybody's 365 tenant, and if you didn't have an E5 license, you couldn't even see it. You didn't even have
you couldn't see the logs. You had to pay for those.
And they were pressured to make those logs available, but they only made it available for that specific style of attack. So it's like, logs, there should be no effing tiers dealing with logs. Like, you have to be at this level to get your logs. Logs are freedom.
Well, so reading between the lines, it does seem like there's basically two takes. One is that it's way worse. That, like, if you get an E7 license, you're going to have way more prompt injection vectors and way more AI data leakage and way more like concerns. But it is also reading between the lines that there's going to be, they say here there's advanced defender. I don't know. I don't know if that's like a new kind of defender that comes from E7. I don't know. It's not clear, but we'll see.
Yeah, it never is.
So a quick follow-up article to last week is that officially Motorola is partnering with GrapheneOS to make phones. We talked about that, briefly, that it was kind of like potentially happening. It's definitely happening. They're planned in 2027. So that's pretty exciting.
Microsoft Authenticator, I don't know if you saw in the news, but Microsoft Authenticator specifically said that they would not work with GrapheneOS. And their big concern was it was not a secure platform, and it's like.
But is that true? If I have an E7 license, can I just vibe code my own Authenticator app?
If I have an E7, that's what we need.
Yeah, I mean that I didn't see that. If we have an article for that, that would be interesting to talk about. But I mean, I thought they were like gonna get rid of Authenticator altogether at some point.
They should.
Like passkeys.
Yeah,
says the password manager person.
All right, so I guess we could talk about 6G. This isn't really a.
Here's that. By the way, here's the link for everybody for that thing I was talking about, Microsoft Authenticator.
Gotcha.
Thank
you. Yeah. So basically, 6G is somehow also a geopolitical concern at the same time as just being the latest, fastest cellular connection. So basically, Western nations have launched a coalition to found or shape the security and, like implementation of 6G, where China is going to make their own version of it. I don't know exactly what theirs is called, but not 6G, maybe.
We've talked about this before, right? About like how we don't want China to create the standards. We want us to create the standards. And then
it's like, I mean, it makes sense. You can't, if you're creating the standards, you can backdoor it for yourself, right?
Yeah, then you have control.
Then you have control. If someone else makes a standard, you don't intuitively understand how it all works.
So I have a friend that works in some of the labs up in the Nordic countries, and they were talking about some of the things that you can do with 6G, and it sounds like borderline magic. Like 6G, you can read temperature in rooms. 6G, remember in Batman where they mapped entire rooms? You can do that with 6G. You can identify who's in the room, read their heart rate. You can look at their temperature. It is flipping insane, even down to the point of being able to identify who is in the room. So, a lot of the vendors that are talking with this lab that I have a friend that works at are like, wait a minute, Netflix is like, so we can totally do a pricing model for people watching movies based on the amount of people in the room that are watching movies. They're looking at this as like a future pricing kind of situation, and specifically tuning advertisements to try to identify who is in that room. It is absolutely wild. And
it sounds like your friends in that lab might be spies. That sounds
so. Somebody opened
corporate America.
There was something that this weekend I was reading. There was some news this weekend I was reading that somebody open sourced the technology that basically does just that. You can utilize Wi-Fi to basically map a room out.
Yeah.
And then essentially you can like look through walls and stuff. You can see people like moving through the walls and such because it's just using the RF signals that the Wi-Fi is creating to basically talk.
Someone sent it to me because I have a 6G capable.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. If, like nobody's in your house and you have Wi-Fi.
Are you telling me that all the tinfoil hat people were right all along, and I shouldn't have said that we need Wi-Fi?
They are now.
They were, good thing that most of us are dead and dying, or have gotten out of IT completely and are like running farms out of nowhere. But this gets back to there's so many cool things you can do with this technology, and literally most of the big vendors are like, how can we do better advertisements and get more money? It's like, how much money do these companies think is left to extract from the population?
They can send you out a fever, John, and then all of a sudden you start getting Tylenol and like Motrin advertisements and and doctor visit, stuff like
Congratulations, Katie's pregnant. What? Huh?
Additional licensing required for your E7 license doesn't apply to your unborn child.
Yeah,
and for an extra price, we'll tell you if it's a boy or a girl, right?
We have notified your corporation and health insurance company that you are now pregnant and you have been fired. Thank you.
Can you imagine how upsetting that would be when you discover the sex of your child through your phone?
Now that's 7.
Oh my! All right, this dystopia. We're turning left at dystopia corner into
into privacy. It plans the entire life of your child. It's like this is precog. This is everything that's coming down the line. It's like that's the technology that.
So this is an article that hit my radar. I linked it. Basically, Shiny Hunters is going after Salesforce again. This time they're going after this API endpoint, which we've had on our radar for a while. Like basically, this is something we've been reporting for a long time, but now Shiny Hunters is exploiting it and trying to sell it back or to, extort people using the data. But basically, there's this SalesLoft Aura endpoint that you can get information disclosure from. I would strongly recommend if you use Salesforce to make sure that this endpoint is locked down. There's some settings in the blog that cover how to do that. But I would recommend if you use Salesforce at all, make sure you aren't vulnerable to this. Of course, we tested all of our customers. There was a handful. This happened back in 2024 when we did it, but
Salesforce just keeps on giving.
Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving.
I believe they have two different log types as well.
I can't remember that did the what was the name of that tool that created such a huge? Was it Salesforce? It was
Meat Pistol.
Meat Pistol. Yeah.
You're talking about so Salesforce employed the researcher who was going to release Meat Pistol, told him he couldn't do it. He quit his job and did it anyway. We should have known then that we were screwed from a security perspective.
I am going to say though, could have been named a little better. If a BHIS to somebody is like, I'm planning on creating a tool called the Meat Cannon, I'm going to be like, yeah, no,
what? Are you kidding me?
Bad ideas, no bad ideas, but let's think about this just a little bit.
All right, that was only years ago. Holy cow!
I thought you were cool, John. All right, fine. So, all right. So the next one, I don't know. Wade, have you had a chance to read this domain tools?
Yes. That was the other one I want to talk to today.
One for sure.
So this is the disinformation campaign stuff is like one of my favorite things to watch and follow. Like one of my mentors, like right when I was getting security, was really hot about this and gave me like the best way to talk about it. And it's military weaponry being used against the public every single day, pretty much with this type of thing. So in this article from Domain Tools, and I believe they got it from the social design agency, pretty much they're tracking this news, what's the proper term, like organizational news site. They had to use a good term. It's called the Doppelganger RN ecosystem. It's able to quickly create websites that are masquerading as very prominent news organizations, and in order to create fake news and control the media and control narratives.
Dude, the fact that it's called reliable recent news seems like a red flag.
And so they're able to spin up WordPress sites, news articles, all there's scalability, there's everything. It feels like your normal IT tool that's able to ramp up very quickly type of deal.
Thanks for that segue to our sponsor, Squarespace.
You want to just kidding. Website built on the fly to deliver malware? Check out Wix. We shouldn't say that shit because like these companies are gonna be like, wait a minute, is there money?
Wait, hold on. Can we pay these people?
We have come up with great ideas on this podcast before for money.
Did you ever go to any Paul Bixie's talks? Troy, you may have.
Didn't he? Yeah. Did he do Reno? Wild West Hacking Fest Reno, where it was literally like a doomsday talk, and everyone at the end of the con was like,
okay. Such a downer. And now we look back on what he was talking about, and we're like, oh, that was quaint. It's if you want to see like just somebody who knows the guts inside out backwards, go look at Paul Bixie's talk from Way West Hacking Fest in Reno, Nevada, and it kind of talks about the amount of information and all the money that's being made on the back end of DNS and how it's all evil.
And then John disappears. Oh no!
It looks like Big DNS got to John.
I invoked Bixie and it kicked me off, I guess. So that tracks.
So okay, this like I guess Wade, like on these disinformation campaigns, like is this search engine like how is there a fix for this other than just like only using reputable news sources? Like, or is this? No. I mean, is it just
make a second
operationalizing
internet?
a tactic?
I don't know.
Don't use the internet.
Make a second internet. I don't like the internet within the internet of only trusted sources that you have to have I don't know. Like then it's going to become big tracking. There's no way to fix this, right? Like at the end of the day, someone on Facebook is going to find this and repost it to millions of people.
And they'll repost it 80,000 times. Yeah.
And what I hate about this crap is undoubtedly when this happens, there's one of those like Web 3.0 jackasses that's like, well, we need to implement Web 3.0 and it's going to fix all of this. And it's like, you're not cool. No one wants to party with you. Leave. Get out now. the technology is sound, right? It's the apps and all of the things that people use out of convenience that's just it. We can't wipe the slate clean and do a fresh start. It's like the technology is sound. It's just everybody gets hooked into these ecosystems and we just reuse them again and again and again.
I wonder if the popularity to this is really focused on countries that have really poor ability to get good news. So they're just trying to find, because if you look at some of these TLD, top level domains, they're just they kind of look sketchy. And then the fact that you have new domains being registered, right? Categorization, proxy categorization is good. There are services out there like Cisco's Umbrella and stuff like that does a really fair job at categorization of domains. So it's do people just not utilize that anymore, or is this really just
they just don't care, right?
That don't use proxies.
The big thing here was typos. They're looking for people who are mistyping news sources or Googling something or trying to try to prove that they're right.
Done IRs where we look at the link and we're like, shit, the domain was registered 3 days ago. Really? It's I mean, if it's a very popular domain, the fact is that they're not for these to be successful, they're just not using good solid proxies and domains.
Okay, hold on. Are you saying you don't usually get your news from artichoke.cc?
All right. So let's pick at that, Troy.
Yeah.
I think that this is an easy fix for organizations, right? Go into your proxy and look for uncategorized. If you see uncategorized, block it. The reason why this works is so many organizations, this gets into something I teach, it's a lot of organizations are still fundamentally hooked on deny listing. Identify all the bad domains, we'll put them on a list, we won't let people go there. But if you have something that's uncategorized, like a Cisco and Fortinet, Palo Alto, have never seen this domain, ever, do not let your users go to it. And that takes care of a lot of those domains, but that's the easiest domain allow listing trick that you can do. Is just go into uncategorized and deny.
Do you want to know the stupidest reason why people get pushback for that? Because of local restaurants. That's the number one pushback I've gotten.
Use Google Maps. All right, use Google Maps. See it. All right, you don't need
fair,
it.
But listen, it was a catering order. I'm an exec assistant. It was a catering order you specifically asked me to put together.
Absolutely right.
I mean, okay.
He said the key word there. The key word, everyone, was executive. That was what got it through everything.
So again, this is I'm not saying it's legitimate. I'm just telling you this is
it's
in the trenches.
Marketing, CISO, CTO, executive assistant. That's the decision hierarchy.
You get an email from them. That's done. You're good. It's open that firewall right up. One thing I see from this is it goes back to the thing. The common sense isn't so common. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I hate to plug this. I recently did an interview on the 1Password podcast with Colina Colati about OSENT and how people need to be better at OSENT in order to find this fake news and to understand hey, I can make one more Google search to figure out if this news is fake or not. And then utilizing AI for that as well, right? To make it even easier for you to understand and go at it.
Well, this is a plug and it bothers me because they pay people for this and I do this shit for free. But I just want to take a moment to plug low sodium V8. It's absolutely delicious. V8.
John has been drinking low sodium V8 for as long as the podcast has existed. I'm surprised they haven't. It's them and Nord. Why aren't they sponsoring us yet?
That's all I'm asking. I just want to and that's it. I don't want any money. I don't want anything. I just want them to acknowledge that I exist and that I've been supporting their cause. Other than that, the other company that I see on YouTube all over the place is Ground News. I absolutely love Ground News' app where if it has a news story, it shows you the full swag of, left, right, there's multiple different sites and different views of this story, and it makes it really a lot easier to sit down and read the news and enjoy an ice cold low sodium V8.
I've been trying to get Liquid Death to sponsor me for a while, and they just don't return my emails ever.
It's
once a month. No,
you got to ramp a jet ski over a mountain to get sponsored by them.
Right, I feel like Liquid Death and cybersecurity go hand in hand. Their marketing schema would be perfect.
We already had Liquid Death. It's called Jolt Cola. All right.
I thought Liquid Death was just.
It's just bubble water, right? That's all it is.
Yeah, Liquid Death. So.
That's good. The grindnews.com is available if anybody wants to go snag that. Their version of RRN.
It's like you mentioned Meat Pistol, and people are like, are they joking? Or are they setting us up with another goat seat situation?
Thank you, James, for just fishing us live on the air. I love it. Yeah. So, okay. Does anyone, before we keep walking through the list, anyone, James, John, Wade, Troy, anyone have any articles they want to specifically talk about?
I sent my stuff and I'm doing, we already hit the one that I wanted to talk about. So
the LexisNexis one is kind of an ongoing thing that we've been following for quite some time.
This has hit a lot of our customers. Yeah.
I think that as well. So pretty much LexisNexis, which is this huge global provider of analytical information to a bunch of different organizations.
Mostly law firms. Yeah.
Mostly law firms. Yeah. So I remembered this because there was an article about car data being cycled to them for insurance information, and your car not being able to turn it off. And there's a huge thing about it. There was one other one about it too, that this is like the third time we've talked about them. So now seeing that they got breached, I was like, we all knew it was coming. Now they know that I speed. So what else is going to happen?
So the interesting thing about this one that we've been reporting it for our customers and giving nice little summaries of what was leaked. It's nothing crazy. They claim no usernames and passwords were leaked. The threat actors claim that potentially passwords and API keys were leaked. At least for the customers we've looked at that were affected. It's interesting because you'll see in the data that was leaked, one of the pieces of data is an analytics tool that was running on their support portal. And so the data from that analytics tool is leaked. And some of the information that's disclosed is the person who they submitted a ticket as, the screen resolution that they submitted that ticket as, the device type, the IP address, the location. So it basically is like Uber phishing for the targets that are in the breach about LexisNexis data, because not only do I have your device type, your location, your screen resolution, I also have whatever tickets you opened, whatever support numbers they were related to. It's that's what we've been warning our customers about, is you're about to see LexisNexis phishing campaigns for the next 5 years. Just expect it.
Yeah. And especially when they've got job titles and phone numbers and email addresses and all the other stuff
and
related
ticket
to their
numbers,
job.
Real ticket numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. But with the jobs, they can be sending other BEC phishing emails easily. So
is the screen resolution just to see if they're mobile or not? Is that it? Right? Why do they need to know I'm on a 580?
It's one of those things. I mean, it's again, it's ostensibly in the name of support, right? The user was on a mobile, or the user was on a desktop or whatever. But I think it's it's about
something else to build rapport and build a connection with the target.
You need a new monitor.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, it's something
circling back with the ticket you submitted on such and such from your phone. Hey, can you fill out this survey? Click.
Exactly. Also, one of the other interesting things is that we saw for some of our clients, users were submitting support requests from both their personal emails and their work emails. So now you have a piece. What?
I said that was being sarcastic. That's not a problem at all.
Well, it gives you that piece of data to tie those two emails together, and now you can go after their personal email and phish that too. It's two phishing vectors, and their Gmail or whatever, their personal email, is out of purview of the corporate security. So they're not going to get phishing protections or EDR or any of that stuff. So I guess basically, don't click any emails from LexisNexis for the next 5 years and you'll be good.
That's it. We got to do. Okay, great.
Super easy.
But this gets into, getting into a more meta issue, since we're all about depressing topics here. Whenever you're looking at LexisNexis or TransUnion or any of these background investigation companies and data aggregators and data brokers, it's this is an area that probably needs to be regulated. And I've talked about it many times. Whenever you're dealing with this much personally identifiable information, it needs to make a transition and be PHI and be handled and be protected underneath HIPAA considerations. So whether we're talking LexisNexis or we're talking about TransUnion style data or other data brokers that are out there, or if we're dealing with ad data where Amazon and Google are creating these very detailed profiles about you as an individual, even though maybe not specifically your name, this crap should be protected and should be regulated at some level. And it's not going to happen anytime real soon, but anytime you can talk to somebody associated with Congress or the Senate, and you can sit down and have a conversation with them, you should absolutely try to push this as an idea, because these unregulated areas, like, it's just a matter of time before we end up in another massive breach of very sensitive data being exposed to the internet as a whole.
So while we're in a depressing dystopia corner, why don't we talk about this? Unfortunately, this article kind of implies that argument's going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
But basically, Google has requested, or filed or whatever, that the Supreme Court strike down geofencing warrants, or geofence warrants. Obviously, we're not lawyers. This is not legal advice, but essentially, there's a type of warrant called a geofence warrant that is essentially a reverse search warrant, where if you're thinking that shouldn't be something that can be reversed, well, we all agree. Basically, the police can demand technologies company pinpoint all mobile devices present in a specific geographical area during a specific time span. So, Google is sick of providing these information to law enforcement, I guess, or they don't agree with the fact that they have to do it. And they're trying to get around this so that they don't have to do it. So apparently in July 2025, they started storing all history data on device, so they can't subpoena, so it can't be subpoenaed. But this case is actually a 2019 case. This is classic Supreme Court. They're only 7 years behind the times. That basically a Virginia man pled guilty to a bank robbery. And they got that information. They just literally were like, who was at this bank at this time? And Google had to give them all of that information, and then they figured out who did it based on that. So I don't know. I mean, I guess currently this is legal, terrifyingly. Hopefully, I mean, from privacy perspective, I really hope it gets, knocked down by the Supreme Court. I don't have high hopes for this personally, based on the current political climate, but maybe. I mean, privacy is always kind of a bipartisan thing, right? I mean, it kind of just depends on who's in the room at the time. But
I recently spoke with a a homicide detective about their abilities to do this type of stuff, and I was in awe at the level of access they had to things that I did not know they could easily be granted access to.
Oh yeah, your Ring cameras, your
email, geofencing, right? Like email is the big one. I didn't know that they could just be like, hey, here's 5 people here. We need all their emails because they're in this. They're like up for this murder. And it's like, okay, yeah, here's their entire inbox. Control F murder. Here's the guy. He did it. He emailed his dad later. Like,
he emailed his dad. I just murdered someone. Oops.
Come help clean.
That happens all the time. Like, it's like there's so many people like on these things like crime. I wish to commit crimes. I should do crimes. And it's hard because, like, as a privacy advocate, you want this stuff private, but then you see how stupid criminals are, and you're like, you're not helping.
Well, but okay, so this is 2 different things. There's one thing which is who was at this building in this time. The other one is this person is a suspect in a case, subpoenaing their information. I'm okay with that.
That's a good point.
I'm okay with that. Like, if you're a current suspect and I have evidence or probable cause or whatever you want to call it, that's one thing. It's another thing to say, I went to the bank today, so now I'm in a legal file for a case where that bank got robbed later that day, right?
And that's it, right? That's what's kind of going down, right? So all of a sudden, if you're like in a coffee shop in a building where, like, let's say a whole bunch of drug dealers are meeting, now all of a sudden, because of the geofence warrant, they can basically say, I want to have access to all the people that were at this location. And then based on that information, then they can get the warrant and get access to all of your emails and everything associated with it. And we all know that where this ends with a lot of different societies, right? Without speaking directly to the geopolitical climate that exists in the United States or globally today, just hypotheticals, is this gets to the point where if you have any type of demonstration or protest, they can literally just do full geolocation or geo warrants, and they can basically, or geofence warrants, and now they have a list of all the people that were present, and they can use that for additional things moving forward.
So bring a burner phone to protests.
Or just don't bring your phone to
protest. Or don't bring your phone, or bring a burner. Yeah.
But even then, James, like,
you don't walk around with a Faraday bag?
Yeah.
Nobody else, like, you got.
I was going to say that was the other thing. Was a Faraday.
Nobody else keeps their phone in a Faraday bag.
Yeah,
everywhere I go.
I keep it in my Faraday fanny pack. God damn it, we got it. Can someone send an email to content community? BHIS needs to make Faraday fanny packs. There you go. I'm going to do it right now. It'll be a lined fanny pack that you can put your phone in. It's a Faraday fanny pack. We're going to do this. Hold on.
We haven't had a call out to make something for
so much.
BHIS Faraday crossbody. Gotta love it.
It used to be like a T-shirt every week. I like this one now.
I have a duffel bag and I have three Faraday pouches, one for a laptop, one for a tablet, one for a phone, and a duffel bag. But I haven't been brave enough to take it to the airport because I don't want to deal with that crap if I go through security with it.
That's
that's a tricky one, but luckily you usually don't have to fly to protests.
Well, you never know with some of these people, but yeah.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're going to something, you just take off your watch, take off your phone, put it in your Faraday fanny pack, and you're protected against these.
I mean, listen, I will say, like the just to make it personal real quick, the ice building in Portland is literally on my normal bike route that I take to get to like half of the city. And so I've like almost gotten tear gassed multiple times just riding my bike.
I have seen those videos. Yeah.
I'm probably in some of these data dumps just because I was just some idiot riding his bike and being like, I'm getting gassed. Sorry, guys. Good luck. Sorry.
I am just going to call it like Portland knows how to throw down a protest appropriately. It's like the big, like the people in the blow up suits and then absolute nudity because it's really hard. News and be like, these protesters were dangerous and violent. They were naked and it was 15 degrees. I don't think so. Nude protest, way to go, everybody.
So you just no clothing, just a Faraday bag.
all you need. The only thing when I protest, all I wear is my Faraday backpack. Like
it's Rika naked, or you do
Rika naked.
So,
oh wow, so many good ideas are coming up.
Decan.
Gotcha. So before we close out the show, James, you have an upcoming webcast. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm kind of diving in a little deeper to based off the deepfakes talk I did last year, and I talked about synthetic identities. So I'm doing a deeper dive into it, looking at different organizations that were impacted by it, not just the one that I used to work for. And I'm going to give you a solution in the first 30 seconds on what you can do to protect your organization of that webinar on Wednesday. So come check it out.
Block Astro VPN. You're done. You did it. You're good.
Congratulations.
No, there's no technology involved, believe it or not.
No, I love this. So I will I'll let Troy go first.
Troy, you also have an upcoming webcast at the SOC Summit.
I do. That's later in the month.
Talk.
I actually have one. I have one on Thursday as well. That's talking about a breach assessment that we did at the end of the year last year. I don't know if we have anything there.
There you go.
I know for the SOC Summit, I'm teaching my class as well as I'm giving a talk on Yara and just kind of introduction to the tool Yara. If you're probably familiar with Yara, you've seen an IOC list, a Yara rule. Maybe you want to kind of understand like how that works and kind of getting started with that. So I'm going to give an introductory talk on that as well. But this Thursday, I'm also going to be talking about this interesting case that we detected last year during a breach assessment is what we call it, but essentially it's like a threat hunt, right? In an environment where we found the threat actor was in the environment for over 7 months, and the campaign itself was probably over 2 years old by the time we were involved and kind of detected it for this customer. So I'll just kind of share. There's already been a blog post on it that we posted in December, right before Christmas. But I'm going to be just talking through that and have a little Q&A at the end of it.
Alrighty.
What I don't get, my SOC Summit talk doesn't get thrown up there too. I'm talking too. Gosh,
what's going on?
I don't even remember I don't even know what I'm talking about. I wrote out a wireframe. I'm gonna try to do a John and build it the day before.
That's
isn't that the way you do it anyway, right? Build it up
I don't know if I can do it the morning of with 2 kids now. That's good.
Do you have a title now? Wade, do you have a title?
Let me look at my Notion real quick.
Title. That's the most important part, right? You start with the title, and then
I've been for a while. I was letting content community just come up with my title talks for me, and they were doing things like exactly how much lube and doggy treats are required to do incident response, and it's like that's a really tough thing to write a talk to. By the way, that is a shout out to Josh Wright at Sam's.
Oh, you're using my bad headshot too. Oh well.
Oh,
whatever.
look at that headshot.
That's from when I keynoted.
This man is currently the suspect of a geofencing incident at a local Java juice.
But we can't find him because his phone's inside a fanny pack Faraday.
To go back onto James, I have written an interview scenario. It's like a take home that revolves around writing an intel report for North Korean threat actors, right? For malicious work from home. The amount of people that can't do that is ridiculous. So I'm like, there's a million websites out there telling you how to do it. It's just chat GPT it, please.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Any final notes before we close?
So I know, and you asked at the beginning, Corey, and I appreciate it, but folks have been asking about how the job hunting's going. And I am trying to get a new job because essentially all I do all day is just crush cans. It's so depressing. So, thank you very much.
You must be making so much money.
Got to get those deposits back.
Well, yeah, you tried to. Yeah.